Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch a flick with me? Famous scenes with drama queens and heroes acting out there on a silver screen. Come grab a seat, the popcorn is on me.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Hello there. Welcome to Meet Me at the Movies. I'm hanging out with Mr. Thomas Manning. And Thomas, this is episode 599. That's right, 599. And it's a very super episode. Last week we talked about superheroes, superhero-related stuff with Joe George. And this week we're talking about the Super Awards, Thomas, the Critics' Choice, the 5th annual Super Awards. And what are the Super Awards, Thomas? What do they cover? It's not just superhero films and TV shows.
Yeah, it can be anything from comic book related films to sci-fi and fantasy to horror. Basically, it's a platform to recognize some of the genre films that might be overlooked by your larger award ceremonies, or maybe ones that didn't get recognized in the Critics' Choice Awards. That we want to make sure we give some love to these films that are wholly deserving of it, which we'll get into here.
Yeah, and you and I both are voting members of the Critics' Choice Association, have been for a while, and it's interesting to see them reach out and examine and explore and celebrate some of these films that may not show up on maybe the best of list when you're looking at the art type films. And so action movies and action TV series also are part of that list. And Thomas, we were looking at the eligibility for this one. It was interesting. It started back in, I think it said January of 24 and ran through at least Memorial Day of 25. So it was a long span. And we think that was probably because of the guild strikes that were causing some hiccups in last year's awards. Is that what we're thinking from that standpoint?
Yeah, I think that's the hypothesis we'll go with. We could be wrong, but I don't think anybody's going to tell us even if we are wrong. So let's just go with that.
That's right. So some of these films that we're going to talk about, the ones that were the winners, did come out in the summer of 24. So we just wanted to put that in perspective, and actually before the summer of 24. So Thomas, I'll let you dive in. And we'll let you know, we've got some acceptance speeches we're going to be sharing with you, and a previous interview with an award winner as well. So Thomas, I'll let you start it off, buddy.
Yeah, so first award that we're going to talk about is Best Actress in an Action Movie, and this is not your typical action movie or your typically the age range for an actress in an action movie, but we are recognizing June Squibb for her role in Thelma. Tom Cruise is somebody we're going to be talking about later on in the show, but Tom Cruise, he's known for supporting all films out there. Rumors that he just goes and sits in the back of a movie theater and a crowded screening and will just watch anything that crosses the calendar. And if there's one movie from last year that I really hope that he watched, it is Thelma. June Squibb, she is, I believe, 90 plus years old, and this film was directed by Josh Margolin, and it's inspired by his relationship with his own grandmother, who in real life now is over 100 years old. She's still out there kicking, and it's a very, very personal story for Josh. And at the time of filming, June Squibb very much does her best Tom Cruise impression. Her character is the target of a con, loses her $10,000, and she goes off on a bit of a mission impossible of her own. She's going to take back what's rightfully hers and, show the world that she's not going to go quietly. And she also has the help of her grandson, Daniel, who's played by Fred Heshinger, who is a guy, watch out for Fred, because he's been everywhere over the past couple years, and he's going to be everywhere for the next probably 20 years. But the center of that relationship, the warmth between Fred and June in this film is just so lovely, and it's one of those movies that I think somebody could watch it every week for the rest of their life and just feel a whole lot better about the world we're living in. So
absolutely, a true feel-good movie, and one of those that I think surprised a lot of people just how not only how good it was, but just how much it could speak to them. And I loved the film. Thelma is the film. June Squibb, Best Actress in an Action Movie. And Thomas, we've got her acceptance speech for winning the fifth annual Critics' Choice Super Awards for Best Actress in an Action Movie. Let's go to that tape with June Squibb.
I want to thank the Critics' Choice for making me a part of the Super Awards. I loved doing Thelma. It was great fun. I loved doing my stunts. And I want to thank Josh Margolin, who was our writer-director, Zoe Worth and Chris Kay, who were two of the producers that were on it from the very beginning to the very end. And I also want to thank Thelma Post, the real Thelma Post, who turned 105 last month. Thank you, Critics' Choice.
Congratulations again to June Squibb. We appreciate her sharing that speech with us right here on Meet Me at the Movies. Congrats for winning the Critics' Choice Super Awards for Best Actress in an Action Movie. Thomas, you had mentioned Tom Cruise. Why don't we go ahead and talk about Tom Cruise? The Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, did that get any love for the Critics' Choice Super Awards?
Yeah, the Final Reckoning got a couple major awards. It got Best Action Movie, and then Tom Cruise himself got Best Actor in an Action Movie. And I think this is a film that maximizes everything that you can do with the action genre. And I think you look back over the past few years, whether it's stuff like John Wick 4 or, Mad Max Fury Road and Furiosa, I think this is on, up to the same standards of those, of just finding ways to push forward what you can do with action storytelling. And, Tom Cruise, just the king of action cinema, pulling off things that no human being should really be able to do. And not even just physically, but also still maintaining an emotional story at the center of all that. I think that's what's missing from a lot of American action films, is just there's some emotional detachment there. And I can honestly say that's not the case for the Mission Impossible films. They've had their ebbs and flows, but I think generally speaking, and especially here in Final Reckoning, they find a way to keep the soul there. And it's because Tom Cruise cares about this with all of his heart.
You're exactly right. Without Tom Cruise, we wouldn't see this film franchise we would not have seen it succeed to the extent that it has. Because he's been there since day one, before day one, and I just continue to be blown away by what he's able to pull together. And with Christopher McQuarrie at the helm for the past, how many, Thomas? The past 4, 5?
Past 4 films. That's right.
That really did just kind of add to that chemistry and that bond that we saw in these last few films. And the Final Reckoning, whether it's the final time we actually see a Mission Impossible or not, I don't know. But I tell you, it definitely left me with a good feeling with what this franchise said to us and how it presented itself to us. I think back to April of this year when we were talking about films for the summer that we were most looking forward to. This was one of those, and it did not fail me when I went to see it in theaters, and I'm ready for it to be back. For me to have home delivery on this thing, so I'm ready to have my home version of this to watch it again for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Tom Cruise, the king of action cinema, always and forever, and glad that we recognized him for the Final Reckoning from the Critics' Choice Super Awards.
Yep, 2 awards for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Thomas, another film that also got a couple of awards, Deadpool and Wolverine. We've got some things to talk about with this. Also, an interview that you did previously for this movie. So, what are the awards that the Deadpool and Wolverine film earned this year?
That's right. So, best superhero movie as well as best actor in a superhero movie goes to Hugh Jackman. It's directed by Sean Levy in his Marvel debut, but I think he's going to be sticking around for a while. And it's kind of one of those action figure sandbox type crossovers. It's a multiversal story. It's about seeking purpose and finding family and really discovering the hero that's present in all of us. And they throw in everything in this film, everything, including the kitchen sink. And I think that is just as much to its benefit as it is to its detriment in some cases. But, it's not like the Deadpool movies have ever been known to be subtle or show restraint. So, yeah, I think I don't know if it even would have gotten. It didn't get my vote for best superhero movie, but it did get the votes at large, and I think it is the most superhero movie of the past year or so. So yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. But I am very happy that Hugh Jackman got recognized because he goes for broke in this film. And there's one scene where he's sitting in a minivan with Deadpool, of course, and that scene, it feels like Hugh Jackman is pouring 20 years of, he's played the character of Logan for 20 plus years now. He's pouring all 20 years of that into this one scene. And that's a scene that it wasn't just good acting for a comic book film. It was just great acting, period. And so very happy that Hugh Jackman got recognized. And of course, his chemistry and balancing out Ryan Reynolds, I think they were great foils for each other. So Deadpool and Wolverine, best superhero movie as well as best actor in a superhero movie.
And we're going to go to the acceptance speech from Ryan Reynolds, who accepted the Super Award on behalf both of Hugh Jackman and of the movie itself. And then after that, I'm going to let you set up the interview that you had when this movie came out. So we're going to share that as well. So let's go right now to the acceptance speech. Ryan Reynolds, right here on Meet Me at the Movies.
Hello to the Critics' Choice Super Awards. I just want to say thank you so much for voting Deadpool and Wolverine as best superhero movie. I could not be happier, and I cannot accept this honor without mentioning the incredible talent and hard work of Sean Levy, of Hugh Jackman, of course, the one and only. And I would like to acknowledge Ray Chan, who is our production designer, our late production designer, unfortunately, and he's pivotal to this film's success, to the world that was created around it, and a genuine treasure who will be missed now and always, and a filmmaker, part of that circle of people who make that world something that you loved and you gravitated toward.
Congrats again to Deadpool and Wolverine for Best Superhero Movie, and to Hugh Jackman for earning the Best Actor in a Superhero Movie. And thanks to Ryan Reynolds for taking the time for that acceptance speech that was shared with you right here on behalf of the Critics' Choice Association and the Critics' Choice Super Awards. Thomas, you got a chance to interview Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy when the movie came out, and I'd love for you to talk a little bit about this interview that we're going to see that we did share previously, but we thought this was a perfect time to kind of bring it back.
Yeah, so this was during one of those virtual for-your consideration press days last year during the awards run for Deadpool and Wolverine, and there was an action set piece in the third act of this film that reminded me a lot of film Old Boy, directed by Park Chan-wook, a Korean film from back in 2003, and I had the chance to submit a question that was asked of Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds if this specific action scene was maybe used as a reference as they developed the one that we see in Deadpool and Wolverine. So you'll get to see Sean and Ryan pitch in and answer that question here.
So a very good question, and definitely a touch point for that scene, but not the inspiration for that scene. In fact, I can't take credit for that single shot left to right tracking of violence. Ryan, when we first started talking about this, came to me and said, I've always had this Madonna song, Like a Prayer, stuck in my head. And I think it would be so unexpected to do a single shot, laterally moving, unedited, uninterrupted oneer of violence to that song. And so it was Ryan's idea first. And then I spent months during pre-production looking for...
You had to do all the work.
Yeah. I mean, he had the big idea. And then I wanted to see, well, where have people done these single kind of choreographic violent scenes? Old Boy was definitely something I watched. And there were aspects of it that were like, yes, let me learn from that. And, oh, here's how ours will differentiate. So while it wasn't the inspiration, it was definitely one of the references as we prepared to pull it off.
Yeah, I one of my inspirations for that was the and I know it makes no sense, is the Bjork It's Oh So Quiet music video. That one had some wild visuals, and they used cranes that did things that I'd never seen before. I think it was Spike Jonze. I forget who directed it, but it's amazing. And that was sort of that served as that. And then the Madonna song is it's just so emotional, and it's like both. It inspires glee and joy, but it's also operatically tragic. It's just all of these things coming together.
But as a metaphor for what we were trying to do, we don't think of Like a Prayer as, oh, that song makes me cry. But the whole mandate for this movie was take what's expected of this and subvert it. Take a Marvel movie, subvert it. Take a Deadpool Wolverine movie, subvert expectation. Take a Madonna classic and reorchestrate it with new choir and strings and horn sections, constantly to kind of accept expectation and then surprise.
And that's why I love that you guys acknowledge comedy, because comedy at its best is working in concert with incredibly intense drama or emotion, and it's they really need each other to do it properly. Otherwise, you have a whole movie of just gags, or you have an entire movie of just pure sadness.
Congrats again to Deadpool and Wolverine, Thomas, for the 2 awards for the 5th annual Critics' Choice Super Awards. We appreciate you spending time with us right here on Meet Me at the Movies. We're going to come back after this quick intermission. We've got more as we celebrate the 5th annual Critics' Choice Super Awards right here on Meet Me at the Movies on C19 TV. Stick around.
Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch a flick?
Join us this October for Cleveland Community College Foundation's 5th Annual Yetis Athletics Golf Tournament. Your support funds student athletes, helping them succeed every step of the way. Play with purpose. Tee off for student success. Visit cccyetis.com to register today.
Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch a flick?
Hello there. Welcome back to Meet Me at the Movies. I am Noel T. Manning II, joined by Thomas Manning, a fellow member of the Critics' Choice Association. And the reason I'm saying that is because we are talking about the Critics' Choice Association Super Awards that were just handed out this summer, covering films and filmmakers going back to January of 24 through basically Memorial Day weekend of 25. And we've covered some of those, and we're going to try to get to a few more during this second half of the show. Well, Thomas, there was a preseason superhero film that came out before May this year that you and I both were pleasantly surprised with. There had been some superhero fatigue that many have been experiencing, but this one, for me especially, it kind of changed the direction for me. Thunderbolts is the film we're going to talk about. In particular, the best actress in a superhero movie, Florence Pugh.
That's right. Thunderbolts, also known as the New Avengers. That's what that little asterisk means. And Florence Pugh is someone that you and I have been following her work for probably 7-8 years now. I think it was about 2018, 2019 is when she really burst onto the scene. And just year after year, she continues to spread her wings and challenge herself. And she'll do, massive blockbusters like this, or Dune Part 2, or she'll also do indie character dramas. And it's still... You can tell that she has such a deep love for her craft, regardless of the project. And specifically here with Thunderbolts, this is a film that I think explores mental health and struggles with mental illness in ways that you wouldn't really expect to come from an MCU film. And it kind of personifies this idea of coming face to face with your worst fear or your darkest memories or some of your deepest regrets or deepest shame, and trying to make amends with that. And I think the two performances that really make this movie are Florence Pugh, and as we're recognizing her for Best Actress in Superhero Movie, and also Lewis Pullman, his performance, and really their dynamic with each other in this film is what makes it function as well as it does. And I'm really glad that Thunderbolts is getting some recognition here. It actually would have gotten my vote for best just superhero film in general. But all in all, Florence Pugh, well-deserved for this Critics' Choice Super Award here.
Yeah, just a beautiful film. It was a film that had plenty of heart. And I think it's a film that kind of echoed with me after I'd watched it, and I continued to think about it. It also had has some humor, and that's one of the things I think that the trailers actually played more on the humor side of things. And if people were going in and just expecting kind of a superhero comedy, sure, they got elements of that just by the nature of who some of the characters were. But there was a lot more in-depth, Thomas, in this film, a lot more heart and a lot more things that stirred the mind for me than just the humor, for sure. And Florence Pugh, as you mentioned, man, she was amazing in this. And you got to see her really pull it out here.
Absolutely.
Awesome. There was a movie I want to talk about, Thomas, and this is one that, once again, was kind of a preseason film for us this year, and you and I both were just kind of blown away by Sinners. Sinners was a film that received a couple of awards as well, and Michael B. Jordan and also the film itself, they both were recognized in the horror category. And I tell you, this film was a film that I think transcended the genre. It was more than just a film about vampires, much more.
Yeah, it's a film about building a bridge between the past, present, and future. It's about how just artistic expression in its purest form can connect us to where we came from and where we are and where we're going, and really the combination of music and cinema, all of that is present here. And Michael B. Jordan, he gives 2 movie star performances in this film. He plays the Smokestack Twins, and a pair of brothers who return to their Mississippi hometown, and they're opening a juke joint on the heels of some dealings with the mob in Chicago. And things get a little bit complicated when there's some music that's played that might summon some otherworldly entities, something along those lines. And I think there's one particular sequence in this film that is really just an argument for the significance of film in general, just how film combines every single art form into just this rich tapestry. And I think, Ryan Coogler as the director here, he is just operating on a level that very few people in the world are right now. And, kind of going back more to Michael B. Jordan's performance, he's playing these twins, but they each have distinct personality differences. They have distinct physical characteristics and mannerisms, and sometimes different worldviews as well. And so all those nuances are clearly communicated, and you don't really find yourself questioning, okay, which brother is this, or which point of view am I in this scene. You understand it fully as a viewer, just because Michael B. Jordan is so tapped into both characters, just so just in such a fantastic way.
Multi-layered film, one that's worthy of a rewatch or two or three or four. Sinners is the film we're talking about. Best horror film and also best actor in a horror film. That goes to Michael B. Jordan. Well, Thomas, we are about out of time, but I know you wanted to make sure you talked about Sophie Thatcher, the film Companion, best actress in a sci-fi fantasy movie. I knew you wanted to chat about that.
That's right. Yes, this was one of my favorite films in 2025 so far. And the main premise that makes Sophie Thatcher's performance so riveting is a bit of a spoiler. So in the event that you've avoided that, I want to give you a chance to go into this film blind like I did and experience the moment that this film drastically shifts. But I'll just say that there are aspects of Sophie's performance that require her to shift her approach as quickly as flipping a light switch, and that really struck me with this film. And generally speaking, it's a very empowering characterization and narrative of someone regaining her independence and taking control of what's rightfully hers. So Companion, Sophie Thatcher, congrats on best actress in a science fiction fantasy movie.
Let's see if we have time for a little bit of her acceptance speech right here on Meet Me at the Movies.
Thank you so much, Critics' Choice. I'm incredibly honored. Filming Companion was a really special experience, and I'm just glad that people resonate with the characters and how timely the story has become. I would really like to thank Drew Hancock for trusting me with Iris and always giving his actors confidence and so much empathy and freedom to play around. It was a very strange technical role, but Drew helped me make her feel whole and somehow sympathetic. Jack Quaid is the best scene partner an actor can ask for. He's so incredibly present and giving, and on top of it, thank you for always being there, Jack, and to the rest of the incredibly talented cast and crew. I'm just glad people enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it. So thank you again, Critics' Choice.
Thomas, I know that you wanted to mention just a few more wins. I know we are running short of time right here on Meet Me at the Movies, but what are the other ones you wanted to make sure you talked about?
Yes, so Best Actress in a Horror Movie, Demi Moore in The Substance, a film about the fear of aging, and Demi Moore's performance is positively fearless here. And then a couple more awards for Dune Part 2, which was recognized Best Science Fiction and Fantasy Movie, in a sequel that I think is in the same conversation as Empire Strikes Back or The Dark Knight or Terminator 2, and then also Best Actor in a Science Fiction Fantasy Movie, of course, for Timothée Chalamet, who is as Paul Atreides. So congrats to Dune Part 2 for that pair of awards.
We've been talking about the 5th Annual Critics' Choice Super Awards right here on Meet Me at the Movies, honoring films and TV shows for superhero, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and action movies and series. If you want to see that full list, just check out criticschoice.com, and I do need to give a shout out to a spin-off series from a movie, Batman the Penguin got 4 wins for a TV series, so just wanted to mention that briefly as well. We do appreciate you spending time with us right here on Meet Me at the Movies. Next week, we're going to have a special guest, the founder, the pioneer, the originator of Meet Me at the Movies, Greg Tillman, former general manager of C19 TV, is going to be joining us to reflect as we look at episode 600 of Meet Me at the Movies. So we'll see you next time. For Thomas Manning, I'm Noel T. Manning II. For the entire cast and crew, we thank you, and that is a wrap.
Next time we see you, we'll gladly fill you in. We'll tell about the happy and the sad ones. We'll talk about the good ones and the bad ones. Many films to view till we meet again.